Chris, the Batman statue collector, and welcome back once again to Brotherhood of the Bat Collectibles. And hey, if it's your first time visiting, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below, hit that like button, and click that notification bell. Make sure you choose all, that way you don't miss any of this content. Now today, we're going to be focusing on the year 2020, and I know, 2020 has been a giant stinker of a year. It's been one of the craziest, most depressing years probably of our entire lifetime. We're always going to remember 2020 in a negative way. But I want to focus on the collecting side of things in 2020, which I feel like has been absolutely amazing. So many great reveals, so many great in-hand statues. It's actually been one of my favorite years of collecting for a lot of different reasons. And I know that's kind of weird for me to say, but I've been able to meet so many of you through this platform, and I've been able to share my passion with you, and you've been able to share your passion right back with me. And so that's meant a lot to me in 2020. So 2020 has been a really great collecting year. And I want to give a major shout out to Gem Mint Collectibles, and I'm going to put a video right up here at the top. Gem recently did a video on his channel, top 10 statues that he received in 2020, and it got me thinking, what pieces did I get in this year and how would I rank them? And I was actually curious myself. I really wanted to know, and so I thought I would share it with you guys. So again, I want to give a major shout out to Gem Mint. If you haven't checked out his channel, you're probably one of the last people on the planet that hasn't subscribed. Please make sure you watch this video when you're done with this one and give him a sub if you haven't done that. And again, thanks Gem for inspiring this video today. So I counted 15. I'm going to do my top 15 statues, DC pieces. Now I did get some other pieces like the Marvel's Gambit premium format. I got the Child from Sideshow Collectibles. Great pieces, but I'm only going to focus on the DC pieces today. Top 15 pieces that I received this year in 2020, and I can't wait to share them with you. It was kind of hard to narrow it down, but we're going to start with 15 right now. So starting us off at number 15 is the Flash Premium format from Sideshow Collectibles. Now this statue is an absolutely feat of engineering. It's a beautiful statue, beautifully sculpted, beautifully painted, and it was kind of a surprise for the channel, I'm going to be honest. It wasn't a piece that I expected at first to get, but I wanted to see it in person. I wanted to see how it was engineered, and I wanted to share it with you guys on the channel. I wanted to make sure I reviewed it for you guys to see if it was worth picking up or not, and I still think it is. I still think it's a great piece from Sideshow. Of course, I am not a big Flash fan, so that's why it made the 15. That's where it ended up right there, because it's just not a favorite character of mine. I much prefer Batman and his villains, as you guys know on this channel. But it's still a great, worthy piece, and I'm really glad that I had it in my collection. I'm really glad that I got to see it and share it with you guys. But that's why it's number 15. Not a favorite character of mine, but it's still a dynamic and beautifully painted and sculpted statue from Sideshow Collectibles. Awesome piece. Moving on to number 14 is the Batgirl premium format from Sideshow Collectibles. Now this is a piece that I no longer have in my collection. This was a piece that I wanted to get in. I wanted to see her in person. But again, at the end of the day, I don't love the good guys compared to the villains. I have space issues, so she had to go. But she is a phenomenal statue, and I highly recommend her to anybody that is a hero fan, a Batgirl fan, or just a fan of the premium formats in general. Very dynamic piece, the way she was swooping in. I don't really care for the exclusive portrait all that much. I was really happy with the regular. But I'm really glad that I still picked her up. I'm glad that I reviewed her for you guys. She was just a beautiful piece. And is she better than the OG premium format? I still probably prefer the OG Barbara Gordon in my opinion. But again, so dynamic. And again, I wanted to see how she would fit in with my collection. And I'm really glad, once again, that I picked her up. I highly recommend her, but she just, at the end of the day, she wasn't going to stay in my collection very long. I probably knew that from the beginning. I'm kind of a glutton for punishment, getting those heroes. You know, if you guys see a hero on the channel, you know it might not stay very long. But anyway, Batgirl, number 14, great piece. All right, guys, so we're going to switch it up a little bit for number 13, and I'm talking about a piece from Tweeterhead. That's the Dark Knight Returns Batman, again from Tweeterhead. This thing was absolutely amazing. Tweeterhead sent me this to show you guys on the channel, and it's one of the best Tweeterhead pieces I've ever seen. It's so dynamic. The sculpt is phenomenal. It's absolutely a fantastic piece. The muddy version also, you might have seen it reviewed by Jeff Delaney at Secret Sanctuary. absolutely fantastic piece. I probably like the muddy version a little bit better, but these pieces are finally getting in hand to collectors, which is so exciting to be able to show you guys so early. And again, thank you to Tweeterhead for letting us do that. That was just so fun to be able to feature that on the channel, and it's just such an awesome piece. I'm getting tongue-tied thinking about it because it just is so well done, and it really took Tweeterhead to the next level in my opinion, especially if you're a fan of The Dark Knight Returns. Again, that's not one of my favorite stories, but I'm so glad that I got to see that statue in person because it's absolutely A+ fantastic. Now, coming in at number 12 this year is a relative new piece to my collection, and it's another hero. Can you guess what it is? It's the Robin Premium Format from Sideshow Collectibles. This is another piece that I really wanted to see in hand. I just wanted to see it. I wanted to review it for you guys. How long will this end up in my collection? I don't know. I do like it better than the Batgirl piece, so that tells you something. It might stick around a little bit longer. I don't focus on the heroes. I just don't have the room for them. But I do feel like that particular premium format is absolutely fantastic. Sideshow did a fantastic job with the sculpt. It's so dynamic. It's basically two statues in one, which I really appreciate. I probably lean toward liking the Damien a little bit more with the hood. Just a really fun piece, and I'm not a major Robin fan, but the older I get, the more I appreciate the Bat family, and I did talk about that in my review. I tend to like maybe Red Hood a little bit better, but I'm really glad that I picked up Robin. He is definitely an awesome premium format. He's a little small, I'm going to be honest, he's a little small, and maybe that's why he's number 12. And maybe some of you thought he would end up a little lower on the list, but at the end of the day, I'm really glad I picked him up. It's a fun piece, dynamic piece, adds some color to the collection, and I'm really glad I got to see it in person, and I'm really glad that I have him, at least for now, in my collection. So we're moving on now to number 11, and this is a piece that came out earlier than 2020, but I did not pick her up until 2020, and that is the Harley Quinn Premium Format. Now, this case has changed quite a bit over the last year. I had the old school premium format of Harley Quinn, and now I have the new one. Of course, she's very dynamic. It's not for everybody, but I love the jester pose. A lot of people like the blonde hair one. I really like this statue. I think it's absolutely fantastic. You can see her back there trying to hit Batman. I just think she is really well done. And is she the best Harley Quinn of all time? Probably not. But she's so dynamic, and she definitely adds a lot of action and color to my display. And at the end of the day, that makes me really happy. I just think she's very well done. I wanted a good jester version. I am getting the Hell on Wheels in 2021, and I'm excited about that piece. Will she replace the current version? I don't know. But I just think she's very well done. I'm so happy she's part of my collection, and she didn't quite make the top 10, but at number 11, I think that's exactly where she should be. Glad to have her. Beautiful statue. So now we're ready for the top 10, and this pick might surprise some of you, but it's a new piece. It's a premium format. He's right back there. And it's Mr. Freeze, a Mr. Freeze premium format from Sideshow Collectibles. Some of you might have thought maybe he would be a little higher on my list. It's a fantastic statue. I am so incredibly happy and impressed with Sideshow that they came out with another villain. You guys know how much I want those villains. He is absolutely fantastic. Nora exclusive is absolutely fantastic. I love everything about the statue. My only nitpick is he seems a little small. I wish he was a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit taller, had a little bit more commanding presence, especially for the price point, because he was pretty expensive for a premium format. But anyway, I really am so happy that I finally got a villain. I'm filling my case up with my villains, which was my dream come true. And of course, I hope we get some more as well. But Mr. Freeze, definitely at number 10. Again, might surprise some of you, but that's where he is in my mind. I'm so glad to have him. And if you're even hesitant to pick him up, do yourself a favor. He is awesome in person. All right, so moving on to number 9 now. This is another pick that might surprise some of you that maybe are surprised it's this low on my list at number 9. But I'm talking about the Deathstroke from Prime 1 Studio. 1/3 scale. It's a very beautiful statue. I got the exclusive. I spent like over $360 on shipping for him, which is crazy. But I love him. He's absolutely just wonderful. And he is so dynamic. The base is massive, which is kind of a downside to him. But again, shouldn't he be higher on my list? That just means that there are so many better ones than that one in my head. but it's still a phenomenal statue. I'm glad to own him. I, of course, want all the villains in 1/3 scale if I can, if I have the room. But Deathstroke, I just love the skull portrait. I love the different swap outs with the knives and the machine guns and everything else that you can do with him. Really, really fun piece. Of course, I still like my Arkham piece, but I'm really glad that I have both versions because they're both very, very different. The colors are a little different. The pose is very different. And just a phenomenal piece from Prime 1. So anyway, number 9 for him. Love that piece. All right, guys, so now let's talk about number 8. And number 8 is a new to me piece in 2020. And again, a piece that's right back here. This is not everybody's favorite, but it is the Sideshow Premium Format Poison Ivy. I love the statue. I think it's one of my favorite premium formats to date. Not everybody likes her because of the color, but in hand, I think she's fine. Could she maybe have been a little different green? Yes, but I think she's very feminine, strong. I don't think she has that masculine back that a lot of people were freaking out about. I think she's very, very beautiful, sensual. I love the head sculpt. I did not like the exclusive on this one. I know a lot of you like the exclusive. I didn't. But I'm just so happy with her. I just think she's so beautiful, so well done. And number 8, I think that's a solid place for her in my collection. Again, maybe you guys might have thought some other pieces might have been higher or lower. But I just really think she is great. Are you surprised I picked her up higher than Mr. Freeze? You know, maybe. I just love her. I'm so glad that I added her to the collection, and I hesitated to get rid of to sell my OG one for a long time. I don't regret it. I don't regret it because I like this one that much more. And I loved the first one. So that tells you a lot with this pick. But again, Poison Ivy Sideshow Collectibles, number 8. Love it. So coming in at number 7 is another amazing piece. 1/4 scale, but not a premium format. I'm talking about the new 52 Batman from Prime 1 Studio and Sideshow Collectibles. Talk about a beautiful dynamic piece. This is probably the greatest piece in my collection that tells a story. Maybe. There might be one here coming up here in a minute that might top that one. But I love the way that he's bouncing off the wall. It's taken from art, which you guys know how much I love that. It's just a very, very beautiful sculpted piece. Different head sculpts, which are nice. I can't think of another piece that is so dynamic than this one. I do maybe wish it had been 1/3 because I'm not a big giant 1/4 scale collector. Of course I've got my case behind me, but he doesn't fit in that case. So he's kind of this oddball piece out. But I am so glad I picked it up. If you guys even hesitate to get it, or if you're on the fence, please do yourself a favor. It is absolutely top notch. I am so glad to own this piece. I love it. And I cannot say enough good things about it. I wish there were more pieces like it. But again, would it have been cool at 1/3 scale? God, you imagine how massive it would have been, but it would have been pretty awesome. But yeah, coming in at number 7, I absolutely think this piece is top notch. And I tip my hat again to Prime 1, Sideshow. Oh, I love it. So now it's time for number 6, and it's another Poison Ivy, but this time it's the Hush Poison Ivy 1/3 scale from Prime 1 Studio. And this statue, guys, is absolutely outstanding. Beautiful, sexy. I love it. It's from the comics. It's Jim Lee. What more could you want? Now, of course, there is some controversy with this piece. She doesn't photograph very well. There was color issues, and maybe it was the paint dumbed down from the prototype. A little bit, I'm going to be honest. The base, is it obnoxious? Yes, it's massive. It's way too big. It didn't need to be so big. But at the end of the day, I love this statue. I'm so glad to add a Ivy to my 1/3 scale collection in comic books. Again, the fact that it's Jim Lee, the fact that it's Hush, sells it even more for me. Again, I can see where people might nitpick it, but you have to see it in hand. It just is absolutely beautiful, guys. Absolutely beautiful statue. And I'm so glad I picked her up. She was expensive. I got the exclusive. Is the exclusive or fail? Not necessarily. I love it. I'm looking at her right now. She's just so beautiful. But I really like this statue. I'm so thankful that I picked it up. I almost canceled her because I am getting the Arkham Poison Ivy as well. But my gosh, she is just Beautiful, beautiful, guys. I can't say enough good things about her here at number 6. Maybe some of you thought she'd be a little higher. I think she's right where she needs to be. Beautiful statue. So that brings us now to our top 5 here. And number 5, again, might surprise some of you, especially since I just talked about Ivy. But another piece from back here, the Scarecrow premium format from Sideshow Collectibles. Man, when I first saw that they were doing this, I was just, my jaw hit the floor. I wanted Scarecrow. I wanted Freeze. I wanted Two-Face. I wanted, you guys know the drill. I want them all. But this Scarecrow, the fact that they made this base with this zombie Robin coming out and the purple and the amazing sickle and the face sculpt, I am in awe of this piece. It is beautiful. It is sizable. He's extremely skinny and thin, but it works on this piece. The way he's lunging forward, I love it. I love the horror. I love the scariness. I love the sculpt. I love the art direction. And that is why he beat out Ivy. Because I just absolutely think he is phenomenal. I hope they do more in this vein. I hope we get more villains like this because the art direction was just so well conceived. And I definitely think it's one of the most underrated, biggest hits of the year, in my opinion. And again, I'm just so freaking glad to own it. I love this piece. Love it, love it. Man, Scarecrow, number 5. All right, so rolling now to number 4. This is a piece that hasn't come up yet. The company hasn't come up on the list. I'm referring to Queen Studios. And this is the Dark Knight Heath Ledger Joker 1/3 scale statue. Oh my God, this thing is a freaking masterpiece in my collection. It's one I kind of forget about sometimes because I'm so wrapped up in the comic book stuff. This piece is phenomenal. It is so amazing. Of course, it's the jail cell scene, rooted hair. It's one of the best Heath Ledger likenesses I've ever seen. I absolutely love this. Of course, Heath Ledger is my favorite Joker. I am so glad I picked this up. It was a great price point. Maybe the downside of this piece, there's no magnets, so it did kind of freak out some collectors a little bit. But I love the tailoring. I love the simplicity of it. It's such a awesome kick butt statue. I'm just in awe when I look at it. I'm looking at it right now across the room. I'm so glad I got the rooted hair. The sculpted looks good, but I think the rooted is even better. It just brings it to life. It looks so realistic. It looks like it's right from the movie, right from that Empire cover, which is one of the first times we saw the Joker. It's just so well done. And Queen Studios is not just a bust company. That's what we think of them. They're producing these awesome statues in polystone, sculpted, rooted hair, absolutely next level type things. And I'm just so impressed with what they're doing. And at number 4, could it have easily gone to number 1 or 2 or 3? Yes, it's definitely could be a top of anybody's collection. I just absolutely love the statue. Love it. I love it. I'm so glad it's here. Number 4, it rocks. So now going into the top 3, any of these could change places any given time. The 3 of these are my favorites in my collection from this year. I'm in awe of all of them. This is how I'm feeling today. So again, it could change tomorrow. But coming in at number 3, and this might surprise some of you, is the Batman Who Laughs. It is one of the craziest, most inventive statues that I've ever seen in my life. The chains, the robins, the sculpt itself is just scary good. When we talk about Prime 1 being a next level, this piece right here took them well beyond the next level and kick-started what they're doing in terms of sculpt, in terms of paint, in terms of art direction. I'm just absolutely blown away by this statue. The fact that they introduced the chains, and this is a character that is new, but it was so freaking popular, like so popular. And obviously this piece is done very well for Prime 1. It is just a gorgeous piece. And I really cannot say enough good things about it. Now again, tomorrow it might be my number 2. The next day it might be my number 1. It's been my number 1 for most of the year, to be honest. And so again, these top 3 could easily flip-flop. But right now, it's at number 3. I'm looking at it. It demands attention. It demands presence. It is just a phenomenal next level statue from Prime 1 Studio coming in at number 3. Okay? So let's move on to number 2 then. Okay, got 2 left. Number 2, again, any of these could be interchangeable, but right now my number 2 is Bane versus Batman from Prime 1 Studio. Again, 1/3 scale. Getting it in hand, you can't truly appreciate how incredible this statue is. The sculpt, the sheer size, the girth, the story it tells. I mentioned New 52 earlier, right? It tells a story. This one, he's literally got Batman pummeled into the mud, and Batman is the secondary part of this statue. Again, a 1/3 scale statue inside of a 1/3 scale statue. I look at Bane and I love the exclusive. That face, that rage, his mask ripped to hell, bloody knuckles, blood dripping off of his face. You can literally see the green venom in his veins. This statue gives me goosebumps. It tells a story, more so than the Batman Who Laughs does. Even though the Batman Who Laughs has a lot more going on. Bane is just incredible. I hesitated forever to purchase that statue. I am so glad I finally did. Was he expensive? Uh-huh. Was shipping awful? Uh-huh. Does my wallet still hate me? Yeah, it does. But, guys, it is just a phenomenal statue. It is absolutely mind-blowingly good in person. I hope someday you guys get the chance to see it if you haven't. I know everybody that's picked him up has absolutely loved him. So, he is right now my number 2. And he's just absolutely phenomenal. So, that leaves us with number 1. If you guys know what it is, you probably figured it out. And did you guess it would be this one? I bet a lot of you guessed Batman Who Laughs. But, coming in at number 1, I love this piece. It is the Lee Bermejo Joker, 1/3 scale from Prime 1 Studio. Again, I'm looking at him right there. What's not to love about this piece? So many great head sculpts. It's taken from one of my favorite artists. It's got the incredible base with Batman chained up. This piece does tell a story with it being simplistic. Not everybody likes the statue because, like, by God, I want a purple coat. Well, it's not a purple coat in the comics. And so I love this representation of him. I'm very excited for any Joker piece that I get in my collection. But this one is at the very, very pinnacle, at the very, very top. I'm thinking right now, can he be beat? I've got an Iron Studios 1/3 scale coming in soon. Can that one beat Lee Bermejo? And at this point, I don't know if anything in my mind can. I didn't think anything could beat my Mark Hamill Arkham Knight Joker. That one blows it out of the water, folks. Lee Bermejo, the art, the sculpt, the paint, the gnarly faces, the fact that it comes with headstands, all of that sells me on this piece. Again, all 3 of those top 3 could be interchangeable. Heck, maybe even the top 4 could be interchangeable depending on the day. But my top 3 were all Prime 1 items. When I think about it, I just think about what this company is doing, how they are impressing me so incredibly much. And I've got 5 or 6 more on pre-order from them. And I'm going to continue pre-ordering from them because they are bringing the smoke. They are bringing it every single time. I love their DC stuff. I love it. There's other pieces I wish I could have that they do, but I can't collect everything. But anyway, guys, that is my list. My 2020 top 15 statues that I got in this year. What is that going to bring for 2021? I can't even begin. I'm just so excited for all of those pieces. And of course, I'm going to share them with you guys over the next year. And I'm so incredibly blessed and excited to do that with you guys. But 2020, as you can see from this top 15 list, you can see why 2020 has been so amazing for me as a collector. And I hope it has been for you as well. But I'm really, really ready for 2020 to get over with. I'm really excited and optimistic about 2021. I think it's going to be an awesome year. And I'm just very optimistic that the community itself, the collecting community, will have an amazing 2021 as well. I just want to wrap up by saying thank you. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for being positive. Thank you for being positive in the comments. Thank you for being positive with your likes. Thank you for being positive in the Facebook group. There's always going to be drama in this world. But as I reflect on this year, I'm amazed by you guys. You have been amazing. You have been the best part of 2020. And I know that you're going to be the best part of 2021. I have no doubt in my mind. I bring you the content, but you guys bring it back tenfold. It comes full circle, and it just means the absolute world to me. You guys are amazing. I'm thankful for each and every one of you for watching this, for being part of this community, because together we make all of this so special and so unique. And 2020 was awesome, but I know you guys are going to make 2021 even better. You guys constantly rock, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart as I reflect again on 2020. Thank you guys so very much for watching. If you did enjoy this content, please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't done so, but just please have a very safe, a very healthy new year, and continue to be good to each other out there, and I'll see you next time right here in the Batcave. 2021, here I come. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these two awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.